Hi, welcome to Physics 4C. Just imagine you guys have made it all the way through Physics 4A, through Physics 4B, and now we're going to wrap things up. We're going to complete the whole series here in Physics 4C. My name is Alan Nickel. I'll be the instructor for the course, and I'm really looking forward to working with all of you during this course. Physics 4C, one of my favorite courses. I guess I like them all. But a lot of really interesting topics. We're going to start off looking at light, both sort of classical properties of light as well as quantum light. We'll be looking at special relativity, and then after looking at kind of the underpinnings, the foundations of quantum mechanics, we'll take those and apply them to atoms, molecules, nuclei. Some really interesting stuff ahead. I'm guessing that you guys probably have worked from this textbook, but the textbook for our course will be Giancolli's 4th edition. We'll be going over this some more in just a second here with the syllabus and the schedule and such. So we have our mascot up there behind us. That's Laney the eagle. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at the syllabus and the schedule for the course. Welcome to Physics 4C. Again, my name is Dr. Alan Nickel. I'm the instructor for the course. I'm really looking forward to this semester. Physics 4C, well, all the physics, the physics courses are all a lot of fun, right? But Physics 4C, this is kind of the third semester of this series, so you guys have already successfully made your way through Physics 4A, through Physics 4B. We have a lot of interesting topics to take a look at in this third semester. So I'm going to say that, just kind of a general overview. The topics we'll be looking at are light, properties of light, relativity, special relativity, which is kind of how is space and time put together. We're going to be looking at quantum physics a lot. So we're going to take a look at quantum physics and then use that, the quantum physics and the relativity, and apply that to atoms and molecules and to nuclei. So in some sense, it's really kind of a lot of emphasis this semester will be on particle physics. And so I went ahead and put together a list of particles. Protons and neutrons, as you guys know, are major components of the nucleus. Now, protons and neutrons are very similar to each other. We'll see this as we go through the course. And then there's also a pair of electron-like particles. They're electrons and neutrinos. Now, you may not have heard of neutrinos so much, but in the same way that protons and neutrons are related to each other, in some sense, the neutrons are the neutral version of that particle. The protons are the charged version. The neutrinos are the neutral version of an electron. All right? So anyway, just something to throw out there right now. So our list of fundamental particles to start with, and we'll see us through most of the course, protons and neutrons, electrons and neutrinos, and then light consists of particles that we call photons. And so we're going to be taking those particles and applying quantum physics and taking a look, kind of exploring atoms, molecules, and nuclei. So it should be a lot of fun, right? I am thinking it sounds like it will be. So here is the syllabus. Here is a schedule, the first half of a schedule. And then here is the second half of the schedule right here. And then here are the homework problems. Now I'll include this as a set of slides on Canvas so you can look these up and follow along if you want to. Ooh, I went back too far. Also the syllabus and the schedule and all the handouts for the course are also going to be posted on the syllabus within Canvas. And so when you go into Canvas, what is it? It's like there's a syllabus somewhere at the top, there's modules, it's going to all be there. So if you take a look around campus, you're going to be able to find all of this information. Now, as far as the syllabus, this is my name. If I were back on campus, I would be in room A274, which is the physics lab room, but I'm not on campus this semester. Hopefully by next spring when, oh wait, I guess there's not a physics 4D. Okay, anyway. Here's the email address you can contact me at. You're welcome to contact either through Canvas or you can just contact me directly through this email. Either one works fine. Now, office hours, this has worked pretty well these past few semesters that we've been teaching remotely. And that is, what I've been doing is recording videos of all the lectures, recording videos of all the labs. Now, for the labs, what I've done is I've gone to the lab room at Laney College and I've made videos of myself carrying out the labs. So in some sense, I'm going to be everybody's lab partner this semester. I hope that's okay with you. Because I'm going to have videos in there showing me, you know, at the lab tables, in the lab room, with the equipment set up, and I'm going to be, you know, measuring the mass of the objects, and I'm going to be measuring the distances, and I'm going to be timing different things. And so, you know, the plan here is to make the labs as realistic as possible. So, no, I don't want it just to be a computer simulation. I want you guys to be able to see what actually goes on when we're in the laboratory taking measurements and you know, working with the equipment, working with the instrumentation that we have. So anyway, that's kind of the structure of things. Now, as far as these office hours, I guess I kind of got distracted here. What I've been doing is, since everything is online, what I've been doing is having lots of office hours. And this has worked out pretty well. So I highly encourage you guys to stop by office hours when you have questions, because we can get those answered. I think the students that have, you know, consistently stopped by office hours as questions come up have done pretty well in the courses that we've been teaching remotely, that I've been teaching remotely. So I'm going to start out the semester with this. I'm actually going to plan to at least start the semester with some morning sessions on Mondays and Fridays, so you can see kind of all morning long, right, 4 hours, and then Wednesday afternoons. Now, you might be thinking, 7 in the morning, who gets up at 7 in the morning? Quite a few students do, it turns out. So I tried having these early office hours, and it was actually pretty popular. So typically, I'd get up in the morning and open up my Zoom meeting for my office hours for the day, and often there would be students already there at 7 o'clock. So that's why I've gone with this. Now, as the semester develops, you guys let me know if this is working. If it's not working, we can reconfigure. I can maybe add some office hours in somewhere. All right. So, but that's the idea. Since everything is kind of asynchronous, that means you guys can go through the lectures I don't want to say at your own pace. I'm going to say that there's flexibility. So week by week, you guys need to stay caught up. You already know that from taking Physics 4A and 4B. These are not, we're not kidding with these courses. We really have high expectations for you guys. We want you, when you transfer to your four-year schools, and that's coming right up, right? You guys are 4C students, so very likely you're transferring within the next semester or year or so. We want you guys to be really well prepared. So I hope that's what you've experienced in the 4A and 4B classes, and that's what we're gonna pitch here at the Physics 4C class. Is we want you guys to have the skills so that when you transfer to whatever school you're transferring to, with whatever major you've chosen, that you're going to be really well prepared. Students do report back, and we hear back from students, I hear back from students saying that they are appreciative, they're grateful that at Laney you know, in the physics courses and the other science and math courses, that we really made sure they learned all the material, and because once you transfer, that's what the expectations are going to be in your courses. Okay, so you can kind of hit the ground running when you transfer. Now the prereqs for the course, you are supposedly, you've completed Physics 4A and 4B, congratulations, successfully. Sometimes students do come into Physics 4C, they haven't completed Physics 4B, maybe you're taking it concurrently. That works, so we've had success with that. So that is kind of a possibility here. And then in terms of math, you're supposed to be at least through the third semester of calculus. And more often than not, students are already taking linear algebra and differential equations. But that's kind of the prerequisites that we have. Now the textbook that we're using for the course, and I'm guessing you guys are going to be familiar with this already, is Physics for Scientists and Engineers, that would be you guys, with Modern Physics. Now, this text, if you got it in this format, there's 44 chapters, and we did chapters 1 through 16 back in Physics 4A. We did chapters 17 through 31 in Physics 4B, and now what we're ready to do is chapters 32 through 44. So take a quick look at your textbook, make sure that you have a version of the textbook that includes chapters all the way through 44, because we're going to do that. We're going to go all the way from 32 through 44. We will complete all of these chapters. I can promise you that we'll get all the way through. And then here's the schedule to kind of show how that's going to work. So you can see this is set up week by week. Here are the first 8 weeks of the course listed here, and then on the next set of slides, here is the remaining 8 weeks. And then you can see each week which labs we're doing, which chapters we're covering. If you go into Canvas, this schedule is going to be organized by chapter. So I wasn't sure how to do Canvas. I thought rather than just think in terms of week by week, what if we thought in terms of chapter by chapter? That's a way that kind of focuses or emphasizes what we're learning. And then within Canvas, and I'm guessing you guys have already, you've already scrolled through and taken a look at some of these modules. What that will show is each day, day by day, there's going to be a lecture in there, or there's going to be a scheduled exam, something that you need to do. So make sure that if you're looking on Canvas, you're looking ahead at least a week in advance. Now, the lab activities, which are going to be really important for us, the lab activities on Canvas are listed at the bottom. So scroll all the way through all the modules. Right now, if you're watching this, you're at the Getting Started, which is right at the top. And then right below that is all the office hours. So I put those, I put the office hours right at the top. So as soon as you log into Canvas, it's right there. And so you log into Canvas and the office hours are there. You click on that link for the day and you can stop by office hours. And then below that are the chapters. So I've got those listed, chapter 32 through 44. And then below that are all the labs. So if you've looked around and you haven't seen the labs yet, you got to scroll farther below to find out where those lab reports or the lab activities are listed. Let's see. So we've got the textbook set up. These are the official times for lectures. Now, the lectures are pre-recorded, so you can watch those at your convenience, but you gotta stay caught up. The most important thing is you've got to stay caught up, and that means week by week, making sure that you're reading through the chapters, making sure that you're watching the videos, lectures, and then making sure that you're doing the homework assignments. So here are the list of assigned problems all the way through the semester, chapter 32 through 44. Now these don't get turned in, so I'm not going to be collecting these. It actually turns out that there are solutions manuals that you can find online for these homework problems. Now you guys are Physics 4C students, so you know that if you just copy a bunch of solution manuals, you're not going to learn anything. The solutions manuals are there so that you are able to check your answers and maybe check the steps that you've used. I've already made sure that I think, with one or two exceptions, maybe no exceptions. I'm not seeing them right now. Oh, there's one. All these problems are odd, and that means that the answers are in the back of the book. Now, the answer in the back of the book, that's not quite the same thing as actually seeing someone work out the solution. And so that's better. And again, if you talk to other students or go online and track down these solutions manuals, you are encouraged to make use of those. Take a look at the steps that they've used. And you're also welcome to come to office hours. So you can just stop by office hours and we can take a look at things there. Okay. So, and again, if you take a look at the schedules here, we have everything set up day by day. Every 4 weeks we're going to have a midterm. Now, we said that the course is asynchronous, but the exams are not. The exams are synchronous. So we will be having 4 midterms, and the dates are listed here. So these are the midterms, dates, and these are the chapters that we will be covering at that time. So hey, the first midterm is right here, September 15th. Ooh, that's not very far away, right? So September 15th is the first midterm. By that time, you're going to want to have become an expert at chapters 32 through 35, which involve light, lenses, interference, more interference effects. You're going to want to become an expert on those in preparation for the first midterm. The final exam is listed for December 15th. I'm guessing that is a Wednesday. Maybe we can double check. That's what it says here. So, and I should say this too. If when you're going through the syllabus, or you are going through any of the stuff on Canvas, there's just a ton of stuff on Canvas. If you're, I have all of these lecture videos that are recorded. I also have a set of slides. And so while you're watching the videos, you can be looking at the slides and following through the examples that we're looking at in lecture. If you ever find any errors in any of the materials that I've put together for the course, let me know, and I can get those corrected and then reposted. I can get the corrections added in into Canvas. Let's see, homework, we did look at this. It's not going to be graded. Laboratory activities, there are laboratory videos that I think we talked about, and then I'm going to be everybody's lab partner. And so I have gone into the lab room at Laney College and made videos of myself carrying out all of these laboratory exercises. And so all of that's going to be available for you. Watch those. It's going to be important that you understand what's going on in lab. Sometimes students work together in groups, which is fine, on the lab reports, but you really want to make sure that you have an independent understanding of everything going on in lab and everything going on with homework, right? Because when it comes time to take midterms or when it comes time to get those lab reports written up, it's going to be important that you have that full set of skills in place. All right, maybe the final thing we want to take a look at then is the overall grading scheme. What's that going to look like? Well, we have the 4 midterms. I don't drop any of them. I feel like students need to be staying caught up always, And so every midterm is going to be important, so I want to include all of those. If there's an absolute emergency that comes up, let me know. As soon as you know you're not going to be able to make it to one of the midterms, let me know and we'll reschedule, we'll do a makeup. But right now you should really just plan on the day of the midterm. First midterm is September 15th. We will be having an exam, and it will be from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So I will be posting the exam on Canvas. I'll be emailing it out, and then you guys will have 2 hours to solve the problems that you've been given. Once 2 hours is finished, you take all the work that you have completed, you either scan that or you take photos of it and you combine them into one document and you post that back to Canvas. So that's how it's been working these past semesters, and I think it's worked pretty well. All right. So that's going to be the synchronous part of the course. Will be taking those midterms and then taking the final. Now, 4 midterms combined together 60%. That means each individual midterm makes up 15% of the overall grade for the course. The final exam will be 20, so the final exam is worth a little bit more. And then the combined lab reports, all of the combined lab reports together will make up 20%. Okay, so what's maybe not in that list is the homework. Now, again, the homework is essential, but you don't have to turn it in. Okay, so you're Physics 4C students, right? So at this point, you realize how this works. That when you've transferred and you go into your upper division classes, more and more it's going to be focusing on exams, on the midterms. You're going to be responsible for making sure that all of your homework is done with the idea of being prepared for the exams that are upcoming. All right, and then the grade scale is 85 to 100 is an A, 70 to 85 is B, 50 to 70 is C. And again, I feel like what that grade scale represents is kind of the way things work at four-year schools. If you're an engineering or a science major at a four-year school, what you're going to find is on the exams, averages might be in the 50s. Maybe 55 is the average for the class. So if you've gotten used to the idea that averages are either in the 80s or 90s on an exam, that's not going to happen once you move on once you've transferred to four-year school. So this is kind of preparatory for that. And I think if you were taking this class at, say UC Berkeley or UC Davis or one of the other, San Francisco State, you would find that the averages on these exams are probably in the 50s or 60s. Okay. And our averages are typically in the 60s, I'm going to say. Somewhere around 65 or something is a pretty typical average. So if you pay attention to the lab reports and make sure that you're doing really thorough work there, that takes some of the pressure off, and then stop by office hours, keep working on those homework problems. And I'm going to suggest, when you're working through problems, maybe go through them more than once. So by going back through some of the lecture examples or going through some of the homework problems more than once, you'll actually reinforce the learning that's taking place. And remember, kind of the goal at the end of all this is that you have a set of skills in terms of setting up problems and then carrying out the solutions. All right, so maybe that's enough to get started with. Again, you guys can stop by office hours with individual questions or whatever related to this. I want to wish everybody the best of luck. Best wishes for a really successful semester. We've got a lot of really interesting topics out ahead of us. Whatever I can do to help out, just let me know. And we will make our way through this semester of Physics 4C.